We're at Wicker Woods in Port Elizabeth, a favourite dining spot where the chef and owner has recently added mangiamo, which is Italian for let's eat. Our guest chef today is Joel Malkinson, whose newest venture is an Italian-style eatery where you really do get to eat as the Italians do. Joel, what dish are you making for us today?
Louise, today we're going to be making a fresh tomato, anchovy and chili pasta. Really simple to do with fresh homemade pasta. Once you know how to do this, you'll never buy packet pasta again.
Take me through the ingredients that you need to make this dish.
Sure, with pleasure. Right, so we need some good extra virgin olive oil, some fresh onions chopped up, some beautiful fresh chilies, anchovies, some good tomato paste and some fresh cherry tomatoes halved, some salt, pepper, a little bit of brown sugar and some rocket or some fresh basil if you have for garnish.
Joel, we've gone through the ingredients for the sauce. What do you need to make the homemade pasta?
Well, Louise, the pasta is really easy. All you really need is 100 grams of good flour and 1 extra large egg. Beat up the egg, add it to the flour, mix them together, work them for a while, and you'll have enough pasta for 2 to 3 people. That's how simple it is. Right, so we've got some dough ready made here, as I explained to you how to do. The easiest thing to do is just to dust the machine. There's obviously no salt in the dough. Purely because it will eventually corrode the machine, so your salt gets added into the water as opposed to into the dough. So you take a small ball of the dough, we start to feed it through. We start off quite wide, just to get it to feed through, and that'll come through down to the bottom. So we keep putting it through the machine, narrowing the space between the rollers each time, starting off on a relatively thick level where the pasta is able to come through quite easily, and as it starts to thin out we're then able to drop the level down and make it slightly narrow. The eventual idea is to get a really thin pasta dough which we can then use for pretty much anything, making linguine, spaghetti, your own lasagna at home. Right, so we've now got a really nice sheet of pasta. We then are going to now make the linguine. You can decide what length you want your linguine. Obviously it's quite nice to have it quite long so you can roll it on your fork, slurp it up. Exactly the same process goes into here, and we just wind it through. And out comes our fresh linguine.
Lovely. We bought one of these machines a few months ago,
yeah.
a baby version of your machine, and we've been living on fresh pasta ever since.
And that's it. Once it's out, just give it a good dusting in flour so it doesn't stick together, and you've got your linguine. And I mean, essentially from start to finish it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes.
Let's run through the method that we need to make the sauce.
Sure. Basically we take about 3 or 4 tablespoons of good extra virgin olive oil, warm that up, add the onions, let them saute off for a little bit. You don't really want them to discolor, just to soften. We then add some chilies, depending on how hot you like it, anything from half a teaspoon of chopped chilies to as much as you want. Then some anchovies, let that warm slightly. Then we add the tomato paste, the cherry tomatoes, a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, and some brown sugar just to sort of curb the acidity of the tomatoes. And that's it. It shouldn't take you more than 3 to 4 minutes to make the sauce at home.
And the anchovies that you use aren't the normal salty anchovies that you
No,
buy
we use very good imported Italian anchovies. You can obviously buy very good imported anchovies at most of the spas. I've seen them in little tins. There's Greek and there's Italian. And I would recommend spending a bit more and buying good quality. I mean, on pretty much everything that goes into this recipe, because it's so simple, you'll taste each ingredient. So by using the best that you can buy, you'll get the best out of it. boiling water with loads of salt. As I explained to you, there's no salt in the pasta. So we're going to add the salt now. And this will only take about 2 to possibly not even 2 minutes to cook through. And what we're going to do is, you can see the sauce doesn't have a huge amount of sauce. So we're going to take the pasta straight out of the water, drain it, put it in there. If we need some more sauce, we can take some of the water that's boiling here and add it straight to the sauce.